The second best thing about France being good again is that we've now gone 2 whole rounds of the Six Nations and I haven't heard a single person use a certain cliche, you know what it is, once. And whilst the same old hackneyed lines are being spat out about Italy still, and it's only going to intensify once Sir Ego himself returns for his much threatened cameo, it was refreshing to watch this game without once hearing someone ask anything about turning up. The best thing, however, about this French team is watching them. France are currently the perfect entertainment package. A powerful pack, a classy 10, a disciplined psychopath for a captain, a nebulous 12 who has 50 caps yet nobody is still quite sure whether he's good or not, a fullback who could kick the ball from one side of the Grand Canyon to the other, a mad lad with a protractor for a nose on one wing, a phenomenally talented but wonderfully lazy, slippery sod on the other, a number 8 in the form of his life, and a scrum half who, on recent showings, might be the best player on the planet, certainly the form player in the world. The talent in this team is carefully calibrated as well. Nothing shows us better than the form of that very up and down inside centre. Gael Fick has always had the issue of never quite being anything. He's floaty, he's talented, he's pretty pacey, he's capable of distributing, he's also solid enough to work on the crash ball. He sort of does everything, and therefore no one's ever quite worked out what he is. No one's worked out quite how to work with him until right now. I think the mistake too many made with Fick in the past was to treat him like most mercurially talented players. You either built the team around them, or you do the exact opposite and assign them no role, just letting them play off script, do whatever they like, whilst the rest of the team go about their structures. However, Fabien Galthié seems to have stumbled upon the solution by doing the exact opposite. Because the rest of the team has very set roles, Fick has been able to stretch in and slot to fill any hole in the team. With the more attack-minded Virimi Vakatawa, a man who on Champions Cup form might have a word or two to say to DuPont about that title of form player in the world, in the team for the previous game, Fick played what I always want to term the Ryan Crotty role, a solid decision maker who leads the line defensively and just takes solid, safe options. This week, with Vakatawa injured and replaced by robust youngster Arthur Vincent, he let his midfield partner do the knitting together, and Fick instead became a floaty distributor, sliding through a few nice probing kicks to boot. Fick's role in both games has been clearly defined to him, meaning he's never in two minds about what he has to be, but he's talented enough to adapt to whatever that preset role may be and how that may change depending on the balance of the team. With Vakatawa and Damien Penaud due to come back into this backline next weekend, I'm excited to see how Galthié intends to allow Fick to stretch next and make the most of his ability to be just about anything. This calibration is also evident in their alignment. Whereas England and Ireland are adopting cutting edge shapes from around the world and Wales are looking to tweak it into something new, France are taking a very old school approach to modern rugby. It's lazy to say this team wouldn't look as good without Antoine Dupont, especially because Baptiste Serin came on and did this nonchalant mad shit, but it's kind of true. This side is built around having a world-class scrum half. If we just look at a standard setup, France align the field just to give Dupont as many options as possible. Every forward is stood so not only is he an option, but Dupont could feasibly get the ball to him or the next man along. This isn't new, Joe Schmidt ran a similar thing with Ireland at times, but it's just Galthié making the most of what he's got. Dupont's ability to scan horizontally is fantastic, and each forward is always coming onto the ball, partly because Dupont consistently and perfectly passes for the man rather than to him, but also because of just how willing to carry and provide energy the entire pack appeared to be, especially Julien Marchand, who was fantastic. The absolute crown, however, from Dupont was the beauty of a pass, once again to the excellent Gregory Aldrit for France's third try. There are a few interesting ideas creeping in as well, like loading Teddy Thomas into the pod here. Nothing comes of it, but France are clearly so set for offloads the team prepare for continuity vigorously. If this ball carrier had managed to free a hand with Thomas on hand, it may well have put the quickest player right through and over the line. I'd also keep a keen eye out for some kind of trick play coming up later in the tournament where they use a forward carry to disguise Thomas or Penaud picking a line through the defence as and when that horizontal scan from Dupont feels it's on. Italy are almost the complete opposite. I mentioned last week that everything they do comes off genuinely class 10 Tommaso Allen, with scrum half Callum Brayley just doing the nuts and bolts job, except increasingly it looks like he's only really doing the nuts. Over 2 full games, Italy have box kicked twice in total. 2 games. In 2020, Italy box kicked just once against Wales and just once against France. That's unheard of in modern rugby. And whilst the idea of everything is being trusted to genuinely class 10 Tommaso Allen and surprisingly useful crash ball option Carlo Canna explains a lot, I think it's only half the story. Italy were always going to be an interesting case because Franco Smith's 2 previous major teams in Benetton Treviso and the Cheetahs played so very differently. However, he appears to be devising at the moment a third approach for Italy, and even though they look nothing like them to the naked eye, from a tactical perspective, the closest reference point to what they're trying to achieve appears to be last year's Japan side. It's possession-based, play built on the 9 just guiding them between rucks, trying to generate forward momentum until the 10 spots space, either in or behind the defensive line, at which point he calls the ball out the back and he puts it either wide or behind. There's a far cleaner structure to Italy this year than last, and whilst I'm not saying they've lifted what Japan did exactly, because they very much haven't, mostly because the beauty of that game plan was how carefully Jamie Joseph built it around his own side's strengths and weaknesses, there are clearly learnings being carried over. Most of Italy's play, most of their possession, is essentially a holding pattern until genuinely class 10 Tommaso Allen spots something, and we can see exactly his worth to this Italian side in their first try. After a bunch of back and forth phases, Allen spots something and he calls the ball. Instead, Brayley is in the process of following standard procedure and shipping it onto Negri. However, the whole team essentially scramble to get the ball into Allen's hands. Now he's called it, now he wants it. This is their entire plan. It's to let Allen run his plan, and he just about manages to execute it. He ties up a tackler or two and gets the ball free by any means possible. He knows that's the important thing. It isn't to make an accurate pass, it's just to get the ball out. This allows fullback, big Jaden Hayward, to scoop it up, and then time is passed and put Matteo Minazzi in the corner. Sorry. Italy are so determined to get the ball into Allen's hands on every opportunity, they happily give up 20 metres here of this turnover, just so Brayley can get it to Allen, who's been covering in the backfield. And he does actually spot something, a great looping pass, and Minozzi can combine with Canna to create some space, and this was just moments as well before Canna was able to pull some magic himself on that wing, and flick the switch that turns Dean Budd into Jonah Lomu once again. However, in addition to avoiding the traditional French cliché, we also got a total inversion of the old bullshit that's so often served up about Italy, because not only did they play plenty of really lovely rugby, but they also had far more success doing so once they waited for France to tire. In the second half, France's line speed eased up, Italian meters were made, and most worryingly, stupid penalties started to be conceded by France. This was always going to be the issue with Sean Edwards bringing his knackering style to a new team, who he hasn't been able to condition endlessly in a fridge in Poland, and so far, in both games, France have really softened up as the game went on, and Italy were the far fitter side. Yet that just makes France all the more fun to watch. There's something glorious about seeing something rampagingly powerful, but with one or two very obvious weak spots. France look hugely impressive and will be favourites for the title, yet as they head to Cardiff, Wales will know exactly what they need to target. And with plenty of positive signs over 2 games that haven't gone their way, Italy also head back to Rome at long last with hope, leaving Scotland to wonder which Italian side is going to turn up. That is round 3 wrapped up, covered. Rugby. That was France-Italy you just watched there. I've done Scotland against England. I've done Wales against Ireland. I'll have more coming up over the next couple of weeks because there's more rugby happening this weekend. Thank you to everyone that's watched the channel on Patreon. That means I'm allowed to continue doing this, or it enables me to continue doing this full time, putting as much time into all these videos as I have. Thank you to everyone that's just watched them and shared them. Everyone that's been retweeting things, it's hugely appreciated. As is you just watching this thing now. I am rambling quite feverishly, but that's good. Alan's still here. He says, good, I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good day. It's very considerate of you, Alan. Thank you very much for contributing.